Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the showdown rounds of The Voice Australia. 56 will become 36, so we must continue the cull. The showdown rounds will cut the fat and leave us with our top 16. The artistic bloodletting continues. Hello, my name is Dr. Dan and I'm so glad you've chosen to watch this, the 6th episode of The Fifth Chair, my weekly review of the 3rd season of The Voice Australia. Before we commence this week's review, I'd like to request a favour. These past few weeks, I've received overwhelming feedback that you, my audience, are loving The Fifth Chair. Firstly, thank you. I've been truly humbled by so many of your comments. I'm loving that you're loving the project, and here's where my request for a favour comes in. If you're one of the hundreds who love this project and all that it represents, can I call upon you to share this video, the ones that have come before and the ones that will come after? I believe the message of The Fifth Chair needs to be heard by thousands of budding singers across this great country of ours, and from your feedback, so do you. So please partner with me by hitting the share button and let's see how many people we can reach together. And now back to our scheduled program. During my last couple of episodes, I've found myself being tempted into commenting on the program and its design. In this episode, I want to redirect the commentary back to the singers, their voices, and the underlying technique, or the lack thereof. So, let's get to it. What sound do you immediately associate with the word twang? If you're like most people, you're probably thinking of a guitar string being plucked or country and western music. You know, D-I-V-O-R-C-E. Most people think of twang as being nasality, but it isn't. Before we talk about this important contemporary vocal technique, have a listen to Tando's showdown performance from Sunday night. Tando's performance, for the most part, displays a heavily nasalised tone that is narrow and thin. In this instance, Tando is singing with nasalised twang. Firstly, let's reload this word twang. Twang is a clear, focused resonance that is added into the sound immediately above the vocal folds in a space called the laryngopharynx. Now, given that twang is developed in the vocal tract before the sound is directed into either the mouth or the nose, we can categorically state that twang is not nasality. They are, in fact, two separate things. This being said, country and western music does utilise a nasalised twang by directing the clear, focused resonance of twang predominantly through the nasal cavity. And this is what's happening in Tando's performance. The only problem is that Tando is not singing country and western. She's singing Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon, the quintessential 21st century rock song. And the narrow and thin tone that Tando finds herself employing enables her to reach the notes. But it's the same narrow and thin tone that falls short of the all-important gutsy sounds required for rock and exposes the voice to inaccuracies in pitch. If we unpack this further, I believe we are observing a singer that is not utilising the contemporary technique of twang by choice, but a singer whose voice is simply constricting the vocal tract to achieve the notes that sit right on the edge of her range. If Tando had employed twang in an intentional manner, it would have been with less nasal resonance and more of the sound being directed through the mouth. In turn, this would have filled the tone out and provided the solid, gutsy quality necessary for rock. Twang is an absolute essential technique that every singer should learn when it comes to healthy, efficient contemporary vocals. But when the vocalist has no control over it, it can come across as sounding whiny, tinny, and yes, nasal. The next song I'd like to review is one that I've been personally singing and performing for more than 2 decades. John Farnham's Burn For You is a beautifully intimate lyric that is matched by a light, even tone which smoothly transitions to strong, heartfelt falsetto. I feel like I'm talking about wine. Let's take a moment to hear Robbie's rendition of this Australian classic. Quite obviously, the song is a few levels above Robbie's vocal pay grade. Back in episode 1 of The Fifth Chair, I stated that singing softer, lighter material is more difficult than simply singing loud and proud. Bigger is easier, and Robbie's performance of Burn For You reinforces this point. This tune requires consistent breath stream levels. For most singers, and when I say most, I mean virtually all, the development of even low-level breath pressure is only established after years of training. And without this training to call on, Robbie really struggles to hold the even, smooth tone that the song requires. And secondly, one of the predominant vowel shapes required for this tune is oo, as heard in the line, "What am I gonna do?" Again, most singers struggle with the shape of oo because it requires an elongated vocal tract with forward shaping of the lips, while the singer maintains width through the back of the throat and high arch in the back of the tongue. If the singer can't create this challenging shape, they often morph the vowel into what's called a mixed vowel. What am I gonna do? Can you hear the difference? Do, do. The mixed vowel shape leaves the song sounding ochre and unrefined, and not to mention that you have to work harder for the mixed vowel. It costs the singer more for a lesser result. My top 8, which is now a top 6, has survived the week without loss. Julian and Kat are both safe. Will Matt, Ellie, Taylor and Sabrina survive the second week of the showdowns? We'll see. For those of you playing at home, how are your top 8 going? Drop me a comment and let me know how many you still have standing and who you've lost along the way. My pick of the week goes to the very first performance of the showdown rounds. C Major presented an entertaining rendition of Rob Thicke's Blurred Lines. Now, I have a little confession to make. When I was first compiling my top 8 way back in episode 1, I had C Major on my shortlist, and after this performance I'm starting to wonder whether I made the right decision in dropping him from my final 8. The performance is engaging, travels the breadth of his range, lower register to falsetto, and employs some growl for good measure. A deserving performance for my pick of the week, methinks. And what do you think? We have one more week of showdowns and more contestants to be rid of. Join me again next week when you'll once again hear me say, "I'm Dr. Dan, sing well."